Thank you. Nice to see you back at the keyboard.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure. Good morning, everyone. Well, I don't know. Sometimes when I get together with the family, we say that we really should put together a television program about unity. If people saw what takes place behind the scenes in the unity ministry, they would be gobsmacked, like they've never been gobsmacked before. So maybe I'll do that someday. I'll write the story about unity. It's amazing. The beautiful thing about unity is, and in Boulder, you can be whatever you want to be. You can be whoever you want to be. And nobody looks askance at you. It's pretty open-minded. Boulder's a pretty open-minded community. And so is Unity of Boulder. Pretty open-minded. But there are certain people that go over the edge. And you have to deal with them. They teach you in ministerial school how to keep a poker face so that you can stand before the congregation as though everything is all right. And when there's strange stuff going on behind the scenes. Anyway, is there anybody here from another unity? Anyone from another unity? Anyone here for the first time? Oh, raise your hand high. We have a gift for you. Okay. Down here. Raise your hand, leave it up. Our ushers are coming down and give you a gift. Okay. Well, as I'm always reminding you, I don't have to remind. Over here, you had your hand up, leave your hand up. Do you want a new Lexus or not? Down here with that. Okay. I think that we're gonna miss you. You can pick up that gift on the way out. All right. Anyway, you're going to enjoy this coming talk. You should look forward to it.
Welcome to Unity of Boulder. Those of you who are joining us here in the room and those of you who are joining us online, we love spending time with you each week. So thank you for joining us. We've got a few announcements of some upcoming events here at Unity of Boulder. Beginning with next Sunday is our Welcome to Unity Sunday. This is the Sunday where we start back, our Sunday school officially starts back up, our Uniteens and our YOU, that's our middle school and our high school age congregants. We start those programs back up. We start everything back up. We're going to have a potluck following all these events are going to take place during the 11 a.m. service. We're going to have a potluck following the service at noon. Over here in Fellowship Hall, we'll have a bouncy castle for the kids. We're also going to have tables in the room with people you can talk to about the different areas in the church you could volunteer or help out with. So definitely come and talk to people at those tables. We're going to have all kinds of activities for the kids that day. So definitely if you have kids that you've never brought here, this is the perfect day to bring them and introduce them to Unity of Boulder. We'll have a lot of fun that day. Syntysche will be speaking at the 11 a.m. service. We will also be having a 9 a.m. service led by Jack and Norma. But definitely show up. Oh, if you have anyone who you've ever wanted to show Unity of Boulder, a neighbor, a friend, a family member that has never been here, you've always thought, man, they would love this place. This would be the Sunday to bring them and show them your church. So that is next weekend at the 11 a.m. service. And let's see what else we got. Oh, on September the 8th, that is a Sunday, Jack, Syntysche, Norma, and I, we will not be here. We will be out of town. Syntysche's oldest daughter is getting married in France, and so we will be far, far away. But in our absence, we decided to do something very different on that Sunday. there will not be a 9 a.m. and an 11 a.m. service. What we're going to be doing instead is we are going to be having a sound bath immersion service it's going to be 2 hours long. It's going to be from 10 till noon. That'll be the only service we have that day. It's going to be led by Carissa Ayers, who has, she does do sound baths. She has done them here. She also does them all around the area. Normally, these are pretty expensive events to go to individually as far as you buying a ticket to get in. She is just going to be here on our stage. We will be taking an offering that day, and that is it. Invite your friends and family. This will be such a neat 2-hour sound bath immersion process. So this will be a really neat event, very different than anything we've had on this stage for quite some time. So please come check that out. Oh, and we will have childcare and Sunday school during the whole 2 hours of that service as well. So, all right, thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity today. So this is the point in our service, which is a call for prayer. And we give you the opportunity to write a name down, and our head of our prayer team, Steve, will come down and collect the names. But we know when we are merging ourselves with prayer, it's not asking God to do something different. It's about changing our own consciousness and heightening it and recognizing that we are the healers. We are the ones that can demonstrate healing within ourselves, and we can vibrationally send that healing light out to our friends and family members that might be facing a challenge right now. But we write that down to symbolically put it into the universe, that it is being blown into the universe, that healing may come into the lives of anybody that's seeking prayer right now. And also, it's okay to write your own name down and put it in the prayer box as well. But we sing this song, just they say to sing is to pray twice, and so this brings us into our spiritual bodies and leave the world outside and just remember the truth of who we are. So it is. And now we're going to invite out for a beautiful chant, Rebecca Abraxas.
just the light and I see my path. Oh, 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 I am a song and I'm being sung. I am a song when I'm being sung. Aho, aho. I am the way when I let God through. I am the way when I let God through. Oh, I hear the call and I follow through. I hear the call and I follow through. I trust the light and I see my path. I trust the light and I see my path. Oh, oh, we can hear you. I am the song when I'm being sung. I am a song when I'm being sung. Oh, I am the way when I let God through. I am the way when I let God through. Sing it with me. Oh, 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 oh. I am the way when I let God through. I am the way when I let God through.
And now we're going to invite our entertainment club up to do some singing. And you can stay seated or stand, just depending on what you're feeling like, because you're singing along. This is called the sing-along point. So just sitting and watching, that's fun. But it's better to just really get involved and enjoy it. You know this one.
your love. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deep and let my feet forever wander. And my faith will be made stronger in the presence of your love. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deep and let my feet forever wander. And my faith will be made stronger in the presence of your love. Take me deeper down.
We need to see the right lyrics. It's the last one. There we go. So they all repeat a little bit. Okay, now we're going to come in band.
And I will call upon your name. Keep my eyes upon the waves. My soul
We're going to have to. No. We're going to finish this correctly. Let's start over here on this last part. I got to get some chords that are right at this part. Let's get the band high.
I will call upon your name.
Spirit, just join us right now.
And keep my eyes above the waves. My soul will rest in your embrace. 'Cause I am yours, and you are God.
Beautiful singing. It was so nice to hear you from behind me. It was wonderful. And you guys were great. And the band was great. Okay. All right. So I just want to say I'm grateful that you're all here, and this is a continuation talk from my talk last week on the proof of life beyond, on the proof of the part of us that we should really educate ourselves on, the part of us that never dies. And this one is beyond our awareness, and I'm moving on from my talk last week, so you can find the talk from last week that led us into this whole series, but I'm finishing the series here because next week is Welcome Back Sunday, and we'll get down to more of the fundamentals and the principles of unity and really what unity is and what unity isn't. That will be next week's talk. So beyond our awareness, there's something deep calling us, drawing us to explore different ways of being. Life is offering us a chance to realign ourselves with the world and the universe. When I say something deep is calling, I'm referring to that element that lives in our center, which overlaps with the essence of life itself. Like an inner sun, this common center has a spiritual gravity that pulls us to it. This unending pull to center may be our greatest teacher. It shows us a way forward by warming our hearts open despite our fears. The question under all of this is, how do we listen to and stay in conversation with all that is beyond our awareness? The question under all of this is, how do we listen and stay in conversation with all that is beyond our awareness? Many aspects of living continually brings us into this conversation. Things like curiosity, pain, wonder, loss, beauty, truth, confusion, and fresh experiences, to name a few. To intuit means to look upon. So Mark Nepos says, the way we think and feel and sense our way into all we don't know is the art of intuition. So really, the biggest practice here through our meditation, through our prayer practice, through our nature walks, is growing our intuition. That's when we get beyond this central view of this limited world and step into the awareness that is beyond, right? So to intuit means to look upon, to instruct from within, to understand or learn by instinct, or even a sense of remembrance, a prompt from a deep knowing within that has traveled with you through your many lifetimes. So I'm going to ask you, and I asked the group last week, to try putting on the not knowing mind as I speak in this topic. If it's kind of pushing up against you and you're like, I don't really know, and you might feel like it's kind of not in keeping with what you've learned up till now or what you've been taught in your religious backgrounds or spiritual backgrounds. And I'm only sharing a means of one direction in the karmic process and in reincarnation right now. And if it's not a fit for you, don't go along with it, because this is your spiritual journey. That's what Unity's always been about, is pick and choose what really works for you and let it enhance your practice. But this is just, today is on some of the seers that preceded us that spoke to these facts and how we do move on. And so what does that mean about our living here, okay? So the reason that spirituality is so important is that it is reality. We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Who I am and what I am is not my body. It's not even my personality. It's not the trauma that I suffered. It's not what I've been through. There is a spark of the divine inside of everybody. There's hard data that shows around mental health and well-being that having serenity, meaning, purpose, a losing of oneself to a transcendent self of the divine, increases greatly the quality of our lives. We are a part of something much greater, such more beautiful than ourselves, and living in that state can greatly enrich your life and others. So I wanted to share with you what Unity at Boulder Spiritual Center facilitates, which is the modern-day quest for personal transformation. Unity's fully diversified programs include Sunday services, weekly classes, meditation gatherings, and discussion groups, using the inspired writings and teachings of enlightened people of every historic period. Unity acknowledges God as the omnipresent creative healing source within each and every person. And we also study the works of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, who are the founders of Unity in the late 1800s. So the one enlightened person that I'm going to be speaking to from history today is going to be Edgar Cayce. And I'll be sharing some quotes from Deepak Chopra, but he's modern day right in the midst of us mystic at the moment. So it's neat to see. Unfortunately, every single person I'm referring to have been men. So it kind of shows you how history was, that I can find very little female mystics, and when I have, it's not documented very well. So I'm still looking. So our founder, Charles Fillmore, Unity doesn't necessarily talk about reincarnation. They'll kind of speak to it, but it's not really in the fundamental belief system, which at the core of what's founded Unity. But again, they wanted to create a space that honored all religions, right? And we know that the Eastern religions really honor reincarnation more than the Christian experience. But I'm going to read what Charles Fillmore wrote. The teaching that man in his spiritual ego lives over and over again in many personalities is as old as religion itself, because it is found in every religion under the sun. It has been taught in India, China, Egypt, Palestine. In fact, every nation, ancient and modern, has its great teachers who accepted and expounded in some degree this universally understood reality of man's personal life, human's personal life. Like all metaphysical subjects, reincarnation has had its ebb and flow in human philosophies and religions. The very pronounced revival of interest in the subject here in America during the last century may be credited largely to theosophy introduced in this country by Blavatsky, the eminent Russian mystic and adept. She had received her illumination, so she had a psychic experience with this, from the metaphysical depths of Tibet. Christianity has regarded all religious teachings that is not acceptable to its modern interpreters as paganism. Reincarnation has been stamped heathenism, superstition, and devil worship. That's the Christian way of looking at it. But when you study the Hebrew scriptures and the gospel of Jesus Christ, it reveals that reincarnation was widely accepted as part of human experience, instead of the doctrine that we all go to either heaven or hell at death. So he's honoring that reincarnation, in his opinion, is a real thing, and it's just kind of fun to study it. It was his belief in life after death that enabled Jesus to say, "What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul?" What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? In Matthew 16:26. So, Edgar Cayce is known as the sleeping prophet. During his sessions, Cayce would answer questions on a variety of subjects such as healing, soul's reincarnation, dreams, the afterlife, past lives, nutrition, Atlantis, and future events. And he's been proven to be right in his predictions. He's an amazing seer that only lived in the last 100 years. So he's really not one of the really old, way back ones, but is very, very right on. And if you do, we have his books in the bookstore, and I would highly recommend to read the books. You will feel moments where there's this divine spark that happens in you where you start to remember aspects of yourself that are not of this place, not of just this time. They really evoke a memory of the many lifetimes. You might not be able to see them specifically, but it will be a feeling. It will be a connection. It will be a sense that, oh my God, I've had that experience before, where you're like, wow, you're opening up your view. This is that not knowing mind, right? Stepping out of this mind that already predicts and judges and decides how things are. And that beginner's mind, or that not knowing mind, is such a powerful place to be when you're really wanting to bring into your experience the ethereal. A conversation with dead loved ones, people that have passed over, people that we've loved and we miss, and we want to access their wisdom at times. When we open up to this not knowing mind, it thins that veil between the spiritual and the physical. And when you start to pray into that and start to immerse into that higher consciousness where you can meet that energy, it's amazing, the stuff that will start happening in your life, okay? So Edgar Cayce on reincarnation. Reincarnation is the belief that each of us goes through a series of lifetimes for the purpose of spiritual growth and soul development. For the 20 years following the first mention of reincarnation, Edgar Cayce's readings in 1923, the subject of reincarnation appeared nearly 2,000 times. The readings Cayce gave that addressed the subject directly were called life readings. In life readings, Cayce was asked to look at the reading recipient's current life and offer insights about its purpose. And this inevitably led to Cayce's reading for their soul. A typical life reading would start with something like, yes, we have the entity here. And those relations with the universe and universal forces as are latent and exhibited in the present entity, the Cayce approach to reincarnation focused on practical ways of dealing with life in the here and now by living and growing. So really, like, his whole thing in what each carnation is about is really to bring more of spirit here through us. More of spirit here through us. And so it's combating some sort of old, limited behavior or thought process or something that we've done in the past. And it's not, I'm going to go into karma a little bit, but it's not to be punished here. It's here to be growing us, right? So if you've had a little bit more of a turbulent life where you feel like you've had a lot of adverse things come up into your experience, you might question that maybe in this last lifetime you didn't grow. You went backwards. And so this one is a really like an evening out and maybe even a heightening. And it's a wonderful thing because you're here to be a spiritual master. But when you look at people that have had really blessed lives with like a silver spoon in their mouth and they're just going along and everything they touch turns to gold, you know, I mean, those people exist and we see those and we can feel like, well, what happened to my life, right? Like what kind of cards did I take that I keep getting pushed up against and brokenhearted and relationships don't work out, or, you know, and it's just a cycle of hard things. That's where this reincarnation thing helps us to understand that there's so much more to it than this specific lifetime, right? So in the studies then, know where you are going. To find that ye only lived, died, and were buried under the cherry tree in grandmother's garden does not make the one bit better of a neighbor, citizen, mother, or father. So us dying, it really has nothing to do with it. But to know that ye spoke unkindly and suffered for it, and in the present may correct it by being righteous, and this is worthwhile. So it's being present to what you are in everything you do. And when you feel that penitence almost inside your soul, when you know you did something wrong, you know you hurt somebody's feelings. And you might be a type that retreats and doesn't face the situation and go back and say, you know what, I am really sorry. And you change a pattern of something that you've done, and you know that that's not your greatest and highest quality. This lifetime's about changing that quality that is off-putting and hurtful to others and self, right? Or it could be addictions that have followed you into another lifetime, and this is the lifetime to conquer that, to overcome it, and to do this life through this sobriety, and to feel it all, so that you can love it all and experience it all. So reincarnation and karma is another topic. Another key component from the readings is the idea of karma. The word karma is a Sanskrit term that means work, deed, or act. It has often been interpreted to mean cause and effect. The readings define the idea of karma as soul memory, a pool of information that the subconscious mind draws upon and can utilize in the present. For example, an individual may meet a person and feel an instant liking or disliking for that person for no apparent reason. A subconscious memory may be at the root cause of this initial reaction, but it's also important to remember that we have control through free will of what we think and how we act on it. So who's had that experience where you do not know this person, but you have an immediate affliction of like, I do not like this person? Pretty much everyone's had that experience. Who's had that moment where you just like feel immediate like love for somebody? It didn't take a kiss, it didn't take a minute, it's just love. It's a soulmate, right? Or, you know, or a twin soul, or all of these different things. Well, all of them are soulmates. That's what Edgar Cayce says. So even when it gives you that affliction, I don't like this, it's also a soulmate. Because it's part of your soul family that's there to mirror, to grow you. Right? So I have a memory when I was in high school. I was homeschooled till middle school, and then I went to Waldorf, and then I was thrown into the big wide world of Boulder High School, which was not a good fit for me because I was not used to the noise and the everything, and I don't know, I might have been ADD or something, but it was just extremely distracting. All the kids, all the energy, all of it. I'm very empathic by nature. And my first day, I was extremely intimidated. I was very, very small. For my freshman year, I looked like a little kid, and you know how that is. It's just awkward going into high school. And I was going up to my locker and having all this trouble with this lock on the locker when the presence of this woman at the end of the hallway appeared. She's 6'2", and she is walking down, and her energy is just like, I mean, like, but it was like dark, but it was like intense, and I mean, it was like I could almost hear her soul walking down this hallway, and it was like I literally like went like this as she walked by. And I was like, I am never going to cross that woman's path. Like, it was like, whoa, that energy was so intense. And then, a few days later, I'm in my girlfriend's car, and she pulls over to let a friend in the car, and it was that woman. And immediately, when she was talking, she was home to me. That dark and that intensity, she had a very similar, her mom was a real famous guru in this area. So we both had that energy of parents that were really well known. So there's really no privacy in your high school years. You have to really, to be able to be free, you kind of have to hide because you're going to make your parents look bad. And, you know, you can imagine what that was like. And so here we had this common language of spirituality, but yet she had this judgmental way of looking at things, and she was hilarious. She was the funniest person I'd ever heard, and she had me rolling on the floor in this car. And from that day on, we were inseparable. And she's still my best friend. Right? So you don't know. Like, there was something in that moment, like, whoa, does that woman have an amazing, powerful soul? And it was for good and bad. She was still a teenager, so she probably didn't have the best influence of me in high school. My parents will definitely back that up. But then she grew, and I grew, and the whole bit. So it's just those interesting things. Like, have you had that adverse moment where you're like, I do not like this person, and the next thing you know, you really actually love them more than anyone? Yeah, right? So it's really cool. I love this stuff. So with free will, we can turn the challenges life presents to us into stepping stones toward growth. Or we can see them as obstacles and stumbling blocks. Either way, we reap what we have sown. Deepak Chopra, in his book called Life After Death, great book. By developing your ability to witness, to be aware of your situation, you'll be able to influence the lives you incarnate into. You'll also be able to speed up the process of working through your karma. In the same way, you can also develop skills and talents on the astral plane. This explains, among other things, how great artists and musicians can exhibit their abilities at uncanny ages before they turn 3. Being born with a talent is no accident. When you are born, you bring along the talents you have developed from all your previous existences. So listen to this, because we've seen this like on YouTube and stuff where you just see like a little drummer's like 2 years old and he's completely like backing up entire symphonies. Have you ever seen like these children that are like playing Mozart and they're like can't even talk and they're still wearing diapers? Right? But it goes beyond that though. Like this is a really cool example that it's just come with them from their other lifetimes, right? But even in this moment, we can access actual things that we developed in another lifetime. That's part of why we meditate. It's part of why we pray, because there are unlived abilities in us. Like Jesus said, you will do the same works as I do if you go to the Father, which he went to the Father. The Father is the highest consciousness. If you go to your highest consciousness, you're going to start having memories of why you have this urge to knit or to sing or to dance or to start a company, or those urges are probably part of the fabric of your history of your lifetimes wanting to be birthed this time, right? So it's not just like at 3 years old, yay, you got all these talents and then they're going to be great, but all through our life we have access to these abilities within us. So keeping your that not knowing mind open and start really reviewing. Like really reviewing, what is your heart telling you to do? And really being with that and dissecting that and really immersing yourself in that feeling place. And it takes a while for it to be revealed, but if you feel stuck, something needs to be birthed. Something's ready to be resurrected in you. Right? So all of this opens us up to so many cool things. And so then I'm going to go on to show that Casey says the same thing. The good news is that Casey says our talents and skills are never lost. If you've developed an ability in one life, you will still have it available to draw upon in the next. Our abilities are channeled in the directions that will best help us to fulfill our purpose for a particular lifetime. And when I read this, for me, it's such a relief because I've lost friends in their younger years. And in the last 3 years, I lost one of my best friends that I grew up with since I was 4 years old. And she was a black belt in over 3 martial arts. She played like 7 instruments fluidly. She had booklets of music that she'd written. She was such a masterpiece of music. And then cancer took her. And I would think, at night when I was grieving over this loss, God, I mean, she worked and practiced and like fine-tuned herself to this level of achievement, and then all that's going to go in her dying. And then when I've seen this in 2 places from 2 seers that I respect solely, it's such a relief. Like when you think about your parents or you think about your friends, anybody that's passed away, they didn't lose anything that they got here. They get to bring it back. Doesn't that feel amazing? Do you feel that in your soul? And also all the work, all the things you've done, it doesn't go in the physical death because it's still always born of the spiritual, because spiritual doesn't die. Let's sit with that for a second. Let's sit with that a second. So we have to follow our intuition. So we have to ask ourselves, what kind of listening are we asked to engage in order to sense what is calling and whether we should follow? Even now, as I try to speak of this, I am stalled if I try to think of what to say next. What is out of view only opens into something knowable if we wait and try to listen to what is there. If it takes a while, it's because some aspects of truth are shy, like owls, who don't like to be seen during the day. It seems that intuitive listening requires us to still our minds until the beauty of things older than our minds can find us. Let me share a poem as a way to enter this more deeply, and it's called The Appointment. What if on the first sunny day, on your way to work, a colorful bird sweeps in front of you down a street you've never heard of? You might pause and smile, a sweet beginning to your day. Or you might step into that street and realize there are many ways to work. You might sense the bird knows something you don't and wander after. You might hesitate when the bird turns down an alley, for now there is a tension. Is what the bird knows worth being late? You might go another block or two thinking you can have it both ways, but soon you arrive at the edge of all your plans. The bird circles back for you, and you must decide which appointment were you born to keep. Which appointment were you born to keep? At every turn in every day, we are presented with angels in 1,000 guises, each calling us to follow their song. There is no right or wrong way to go. It's hard to take this risk, but meeting each uncertainty with an open heart will lead us to an authentic tomorrow. So if you discover that following this bird leads you to another life, you will be given something else indeed. Each point in the journey is an end in itself. One is not better than the other. Only your heart knows what to follow and where to stop. So it's that deep listening, and it's working with that not knowing mind, being more in a state of flow. And so I'm going to ask Cassie to put this video on and Josh to merge the music with that. That's the end of that. I just wanted to share, sometimes the deep listening isn't even about a new path for ourselves, but it's the deep path of our connection with everything, right? Having that little baby deer, they could have just tried to nurse that little deer, and that might be what we would do and take it to the Humane Society, instead of listening deeply and realizing it's leading me to something, so that you could save that mommy. And then look at how the whole family came back to the home to thank them. See, this is when we see that oneness in everything. And when we are in that deep listening, we become a part of every living thing, everything unlived in us that needs expression. We become one with the message of the universe that's saying, I need your help, I need your hands and your feet to get behind this animal, to save an animal. I need your head and your heart to be connected so that I can take you down another road, because it's not supposed to be this hard. You keep going after this road and you keep knocking on this door that's been closed, and yet I have the whole valley open to you. Come my way. And listening in that deep listening, right? I want to close with a sharing of something that, was so sweet in my life. I shared last week that I lost my son, a baby, in February, and that was the most horrific loss of my life. And the child gave me in his death something I could have never gotten in his life, which was he gave me my life. He gave me my tears. He gave me my truth. He gave me my wisdom. He I became a person that finally had boundaries and wasn't trying to be everybody, be everything for everybody. I finally started to find a love for self, but first I had to grieve a lot of things that had happened in my life. So his catalyst of breaking my heart broke my heart in 1,000 pieces for that year. And I lived in that place of brokenness so I could visit those shadows of myself so that I could heal them. And that's why I say, of course, I would rather Luca to be here, right? But when we live in this perspective that we've been here many times, I believe I probably chose a karmic contract with Luca to have that break happen in my life, to be able to have my life and have it abundantly. But then I was pregnant, and I was due the exact same day the next year. And when I gave birth to my son Tyler, he came in like a rushing truck. Like this was my 4th child, and you think it's just going to be, it was my 3rd child. Yeah, 3rd child, counting the kids. How many do I have? 3rd child. You think it's just going to be easy because you've already done it twice. That was a bad headspace. I needed to do all the lessons and everything. But it came so fast, like a truck, like he wanted to come in as if he had an urgency too. And when I held him, and he looked in my eyes, he never went to sleep for an entire day. You know how babies go to sleep because they're so exhausted from birth? He just laid and stared in my eyes as if we had just experienced that the year before. My heart was full. It was united in that brokenness, and then I was ended with pure, of the sweetest love I have ever experienced in my life, and it has blessed me forever. I always cover that maybe Tyler's not Luca's, so that I still celebrate Luca's birthday, so that I'm not going to have any issues on the karmic stuff on the other side, just to cover my bases. But on a very strong intuitive level, I know Tyler and I went through us having to part. And then he came back to me. Thank you.
Well, there's so much to put together in what you were sharing this morning. But it's so inspirational to know we can look beyond the many limitations that we impose upon ourselves and look beyond those and still move out and expand and share in a more creative, joyful way. It is so inspiring to listen to her because I knew her when. You should have known her as a teenager, as I did. Anyway, it does my heart good to see her so filled with the Spirit and sharing it with beautiful people. And we have an opportunity to give back and keep this going here at Unity of Boulder. If you're watching this live stream, you can make a donation. You can scroll down to that place on the live stream that says donate, or you can use one of these particular methods. Is that up there? Yeah. So please do send some donation to Unity of Boulder. We surely will appreciate it. And everyone here, some of you are people that give on a regular basis automatically. You have it taken out of your credit card or bank account, and that's appreciated as well. But whether you've done that or are doing that, and whether you're just here for the first time, your gifts are a demonstration of your enthusiasm and your love for what takes place in Unity of Boulder. So now let's bring those gifts to mind and into hand, and let's bless them with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. And we have Rebecca Braxis to share her amazing music, a very unique singer and person. You are unique, and you are wonderful.
Thank you. walk into another's life and we share the light. Until I hear spirit say, I'm guiding you on another way, walk away. My rose-colored glasses have gotten unclear, but when I shed my fear, the energy finds me and I start to clearly see. Walk away, walk away, walk away. Walk away into the light, into the sunshine, into the light, going into the sunshine, into the light. Walk away, walk away. The energy is shifting, trying hard to stay. Anchor is lifted, oh, but the current is too strong. I'm being pulled along. Walk away, walk away, walk away, walk away into the light, into the sunshine, going into the light, into the sunshine, into the light. Walk away. I feel troubled and I feel confused, but I know I've got to follow the line. Walk away, yeah. Walk away, yeah. Going into the sunshine, into the light, into the sunshine, into the light. Walk away, walk away. Feels good to go. The air is lighter, my spirit is brighter. I'm following the next step and sunshine's on my doorstep. Walk away, walk away, walk away, walk away to the light. Walk away. Can I hear you guys out there? Bom beda dee da bom bom beda dee da bom beda dee da bom bom beda bom beda bom beda dee da bom bom beda dee da bom beda dee da bom bom beda. And you can put a little sway into it. Bom beda dee da bom bom beda dee bom beda dee da bom bom beda bom beda dee da bom bom beda dee bom beda dee da bom bom beda dee.
All right. Thank you, Rebecca. Love that song. It's such a good one. So appropriate,
She
too.
has the most amazing vocal
Yeah,
range.
she is great. I mean, amazing. Love it. All right. Well, if you're facing a challenge today and you'd like to meet with one of our prayer partners, they're standing up over here. You can just stay seated in the sanctuary at the completion of the service, and they will take you down to our beautiful meditation room and pray with you down there. I'm going to have a discussion group right after the service, like 5 minutes after the service, and I can only give about 15, 20 minutes to it because I have a staff meeting after that. What else do we have? Oh, welcome back Sunday, next Sunday, so please bring a friend. Like, really encourage and implore you to please bring somebody and start showing this beautiful community the amazing center you have.
That's a potluck,
here.
right?
And it's a potluck, yes, so bring a dish to share, and there's going to be fun games for the kids and a bumpy... like there's one of those bouncy castles and tours of our campus and all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
I hope that you'll come and enjoy great food, great time, and all that good stuff. So we're going to rise and we're going to sing Let There Be Peace on Earth in a circle around the pews.
envision this particular song going out to all the people involved in the peace negotiations taking place right now in Qatar, so that we might have a resolution where there will be peace in the Gaza, and that's what we're praying for. Let this song go out to Netanyahu and all of the people involved in those negotiations.
All right, here we go. And so it is. Can we walk you back up? Please, I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Now it's your turn. I want to hear you. In the Spirit, you sound awesome. In my heart. Yes, I'm only here for God. No.